My speech tonight is how to amplify your message, which I feel is an important topic. I'm going to talk about three things. One is my message, and then the tools that I use to amplify my message, and then the secret sauce. So my message started in 2020 when I witnessed the video of the murder of George Floyd. And this is Darnella Frazier, who videoed the murder. Not only did she video, but she posted the video to social media. Without posting that so that the whole world could see, the murderer of George Floyd never would have been convicted. And during the same time, again, I was home. The library posted a list of how to be an anti-racist because I wanted to do something this time. I hadn't done anything before in the 60s when they were having protests. And so at this time, I was inspired by a quote from Martin Luther King Jr., his "I have a dream," where his children would not be judged by the color of their skin, but by their character. And as a painter of 50 years, I thought, well, I can make portraits of people and not always give them the quote right skin color that you see on their face, so that I can have people look at them just as people, as their accomplishments. These are women that have been overlooked in the history books, and they have accomplished tremendous things, especially when you consider how they've had to overcome barriers of race and gender. And not only have they accomplished, but they've given back to their community. And they were very inspiring to me, and especially when I was sitting home contemplating the state of the world at that time. One of my tools is content. And if you're a writer, a speaker, your content may be different, but I do my message through art and storytelling about these portraits. First, I started at my studio at Artworks downtown in San Rafael, and I would tell people when they came in on the monthly open studios the stories of these women, and they hadn't heard of a lot of these women, and they were very proud to know about them. Then I wanted to amplify my message, so I started having solo art shows, and here is my first solo art show. And then the next thing that I did was I started creating books. And I'd already belonged to BAPA, which is Bay Area Independent Publishers Association, so I did have the skills. But after I painted 30 portraits, I started getting a little confused. I'm getting older, and sometimes my memory isn't that great. I did these books so I would always remember. I could look up when they were born, where they went to college, or if there was any little thing about their stories. The next was talks and Toastmasters. I rejoined 2 years ago because I had no idea how to give a talk, but also what I wanted to say. I have learned so much. I'm so grateful to Toastmasters, and I now have 4 speaking engagements coming up in this year, and that's from 0 2 years ago. I also was interviewed. Marin TV interviewed me. The next tool I used was videos, because you can spread through being in an audience, actually physically there. But in order to get it wider, you need to have up on video. And so I have a YouTube channel devoted just to these women. Every time I give a talk, I post that on YouTube. And that brings me to social media. Because I'm visual, people need to choose a social media that's appropriate for what the message is that they want to get out. I want to attract people visually, so I have an Instagram account. Of course, I have a website, and today websites are almost like business cards or replacing business cards. And then I have the YouTube channel, which I talked about, and I also have Facebook and LinkedIn, and I'm using LinkedIn more and more lately and using Facebook less, just because of things I'm not so happy about with Facebook. And I actually am liking LinkedIn a lot better. And the secret sauce is inspiration and faith. To speak out sometimes is difficult, and you question yourself. I always think of these women. When I have doubts about myself, I can just pick any one of these women that I've painted. And like I said, it's been 100, and look at what they've done, what they had to overcome, the obstacles. Ida B. Wells, who was a journalist, spoke up about lynching. She had her newspaper burned to the ground and her life threatened. She had to leave town, but she continued to speak out. Nowadays, it's so easy. A hashtag can start your message. These three women founded Black Lives Matter in 2013 in protest of the murder of Trayvon Martin. Just that hashtag now is an international organization. So I'm going to leave you with a question. What is your message? And how will you amplify your message? Thank you.